We need to talk about realities, and one of the realities that we need to talk about is that women and men need to do this together. The simple fact of the matter is that we are different, and the difference in our lives between male and female provides us with a more rounded, more balanced, more effective method of deciding what our laws should be than anything else. We need to do what we need to do. That's just how it is. And we need each other to understand what it is we need to do. So all the things that women do that they shouldn't do, which is manipulate men, and in particular threaten men with, I'm pregnant and things like that. And all the things that men do, which is to take advantage of women and promise them things they should not, and lie and cheat and all the rest that they do, just to claim a trophy, has to be resolved in one form or another so that we can, at least to some degree, trust each other with our lives, our world, our nation, because we need to do that. Or, if we're not united as a world, as a nation, we cannot change anything. We have to be united. I tried in the courtroom on my own when people just wanted greed. That's all they wanted. They wanted greed and selfishness, pride and power and things like that, but it didn't work out. Because although you claim the numbers, I'm a winner, oh boy, I got more numbers. The numbers are actually worthless, and you knew that at the time. You did it anyway. So the end result of that is we just have to start over. And we have to start over by balancing what we need out of life and what we need out of society and what we need our future to be, what children need from us. No more, let the children pay. No more hiding the taxation in inflation or anything else. Just simply truth. Truth alone survives. That's a fact of living. That's a fact of eternity. Only truth will survive. That's it. There's nothing else. Hate can be survived in eternity, but only by torture. By throwing you into the things that hate are. Anyway, that doesn't matter. What we do need is to accept that we are, miracles of life. We are. You certainly can't build another life. You can't build a blade of grass. You can't build a hair on your body. You can't build it. And neither can the former classmates who claim to be God. They can't do it either. They're just assholes. They're just liars and cheaters and thieves and whores and terrorists and everything bad, as is proven by what they did do. So we need to avoid what media has done to our relationships with each other. Women are not men. They're never intended to be men. They're not supposed to act like men. They're not supposed to be like men. And men are not supposed to be like women. That's just how it is. That is nature, in fact. And that doesn't mean, judge the homosexual and all the rest of them. Don't do it. Just let them be. Don't judge anybody. It's a path that leads to your own destruction. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Just don't follow them, but don't do it. So what does it take to make women women again in everyone's mind? And of course that means that media cannot be involved as they have been. That means that men cannot be influenced by media either. What program do you see on television? What program have you seen on television that did not include a gun of some sort or other? Some type of violence of some sort or other. All these things are in debate, functions of mass hypnosis, which means to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it until you believe it, basically. Or I held a small class on mass hypnosis once, but it worked so well I really just didn't have the heart to tell them they were hypnotized from that. Because anything that you're willing to all accept as a group, if you're willing to accept it as a group, you turn into a mob or a herd, because now we're all doing the same thing together. We're all jumping the same log or whatever it is together. We're all running as a herd, and if you add violence to that, you become a mob. And ridicule is used to create the need for violence. Gossip is used to create the reality of, let's judge them. And all kinds of things that go before war goes or comes. So don't do that. Stop the people who are ridiculing. Walk away. Stop them. Don't gossip. Don't judge. Accept each other as valued. Respect each other. You can't make another life. You can't make a woman, and you can't make a male. And, these are things that are given to us and ought not to be denied its own reality. Women are very, very different. Even though they live a very similar life, they are very different. And I had to learn that the hard way. But the point being that we're not intended to be alike. We are intended to balance each other. And you need to understand that. And we need to understand, as a nation, that war and soldiers and things that are about war are intended to be for our defense. They are not intended to be, some ruler's toy to play with. There's never been a situation which allowed for, people to demand that others should die or be mutilated because of their choice. If we have to defend ourselves, that is a matter of nation, that's a matter of society, that is a reality of life that we just have to deal with. But that doesn't mean that we have to do anything else, which is what other people do. And it also means that we have to support those who, in some form, who are attacked by the tragedy of human sewage that does rule this earth. We have to stop the tragedy of what it means to be a human animal all around the earth. But that's another whole discussion. We need world law, and we need a Bill of Rights for soldiers, and for police, and for citizens, and for the world. Because, just going, Iraq was one of those who would just fear them and then attack them. And, lie as much as we need to lie in order to say we have to do it. Which, of course, we didn't have to do it. And that's true of so much. America has been at war, most of the 20th century and beyond. I don't remember so much, but it doesn't matter, because the end result is you're not as peaceful as you think. That's because our ruler gets to decide. Our employee, claimed to be president, gets to decide, even if Congress says no. They just declared a police action. That is not fair. That is not right. That is not constitutional, and that means it's not legal. So we have to enforce our law. We have to know what our law is, and we have to create the laws that are absolutely clear, so that we understand what we are defending. Lawyers have been a tremendous tragedy to this world. They've graduated so many that they can't make a living, and if they can't make a living, then they have to either do something else, in which case they have debts they can't pay, or they have to make up the excuse to go attack somebody and take their living and take their stuff, which is exactly what they do. And judges, of course, are lawyers. So they allow that and they help that, and things that should not be exist, because we don't have a justified or justifiable society. We need to resurrect truth by removing all the stealing and all the counterfeiting and all the debts and all the other things that university has brought to us. And I use that as a blanket statement. It doesn't mean all of them. It's just a few who are making the big choices that end up wrecking our lives or wrecking our world or wrecking our nature, wrecking everything. So we have to stop waving a flag. That ain't gonna do you any good. It's useless. And start understanding what the law and the Constitution mean, what our democracy means. Our democracy means we, the people, are going to choose the law that becomes how we live in this society. We're going to unite together to form the basis of our peace, the basis of our freedom, the basis of our truth, the basis of everything that we need to be fair with each other, and fair with the world, and fair with the future, and fair with everything. Because if we're not fair, then we're making enemies. And if we make enemies, whether it's between men and women, or no matter what it is, if we make enemies, then we end up in war. And of course, our extinction is facing us. More than you can even know, our extinction is by the evidence, a reality that we are going to face. You cannot have so many people born, and even if you stopped having, even if it's zero population growth today, we'd still need more of everything for the next 20 years, because those people who are already born will grow and need more. So, you're not going to escape this, and you might not even survive this as best you can, but we have to try, because we have no hope without this world. If we kill everything that nature is, which is exactly what's happening, then you have no future, you have no food, you have no water, you have no life, you have nothing left. Nothing. And that includes the ocean, which feeds 1 billion people or more. And without the ocean life, you're not going to feed any of it. And one of these days, it'll be just like it was here. So, I didn't think too much about it until one day I noticed and remembered there's nothing left. There's nothing left. You look around, and for the life that all was here, there's nothing left. Very, very little. And that will be for the entire planet, the entire oceans, everything. Because that's a choice that you made. We have to, identify what is and is not the right of a ruler, of an employee, of a president to do. We have to make clear what he can or cannot do, or she can or cannot do. We have to make that our journey, our job, our responsibility to tell them what is or is not allowed. And of course, counterfeiting money is treason. It is an insurgency against us all. And that's been going on for 50 years. But, throughout that time, nobody cared. I was here. I cared. Damn few little others cared. Yeah, they all wanted to be rich. And rich means that you want other people to be your slaves. Just like all the emperors and all the rest of the people throughout all of history, they want slaves. And if you want to be rich, you want slaves. That's what you want. And you want, you don't care how you do it, you want slaves. Because the whole purpose of money is to buy people to do things for you that you want them to do, that they would not otherwise do. You want the money to make them your slave. So we need to adjust our focus as a world of humans and resurrect the reality that we need to recreate ourselves inside, where thought does live, and search for what is true, and search for what has value, and search for what is love, and make a difference in society itself by accepting and honoring the differences between male and female to start with. By respecting children, you don't respect them not even tiny little bit, because their future is dead. You have to do better than that. Their future is dead because every resource they need will be gone. And so it is the young who must do what they must do. And it is women who will pay the most in war, if not young men. And it is tragedy all around if you don't stop the landslide that is going to be war on this planet. There are countless leaders who want to declare war against everybody else to prove they can play God.